Jerusalem is ground zero for the apocalypse. All of the end-time prophecies center on this very city. And it looks like everything is getting ready to go into play for the fall of 2017, which is the Jubilee Year, according to the ancient calendar.
A Jubilee Year occurs every 50 years within a certain time frame on the biblical calendar. 7 years, 7 times to get to what is known as the Year of Jubilee. And the Year of Jubilee, biblically, is when all debts were canceled and all the land returned back to the original owner. Many people believe that God will return in a Year of Jubilee because in Leviticus 25, God says, all the earth is mine, the land will not be sold forever. And so many believe that it will be some year in a Jubilee cycle that God will return and reclaim the earth.
I live in a Jewish community in the Galilee, and I was given a manuscript concerning the prophecy of a 13th century Jewish sage, a rabbi, Judah the Righteous. He said that for 400 years, 8 Jubilees, the Ottoman Turks would rule Jerusalem. Then it would be no man's land for 1 Jubilee. And then the next Jubilee, it would be in the hands of the Jewish nation. And then the next Jubilee would be the beginning of the end-time Messianic age. In 1217, Judah the Righteous spoke these words. 300 years, 6 Jubilee periods later, in 1517, the Ottoman Turks took Jerusalem. They held it for 400 years, exactly 8 Jubilees to 1917. That is when General Allenby took Jerusalem. It immediately, under the guidance and the directive of the League of Nations, the predecessor to the United Nations, was labeled no man's land. Exactly the words of Judah the Righteous hundreds and hundreds of years earlier. And for 1 Jubilee was no man's land, and then the Jewish nation, which had not been for nearly 2,000 years, took Jerusalem and has now held it in 2017. According to Judah the Righteous, begins the end-time Messianic age.
This is the 50th year or Jubilee anniversary for Jerusalem, but also we have the 70th anniversary of Israel becoming a nation. These are right on top of each other. Could something happen prophetically this year?
When we come to the end of September, that is when we are expecting the full-scale invasion in the war against Israel. According to the prophets, and the prophet Zechariah specifically, he told us exactly what he saw by revelation. He saw cylindrical-shaped objects, flying objects that have an evil fire offering encased in lead, sent from the land of Shinar, which is modern-day Iran, Iraq, Syria, against the land of Israel. And these flying containers that he saw 2,400 years ago are the exact dimensions of a modern-day Scud missile. And this thing is all ramping up for this full-scale war. Iran has said openly, the leader, that when they get a nuke, they are going to nuke Israel. The one nation that the prophets say is going to nuke Israel in the last days. Qatar has 1 nuclear warhead that we know of. They have 1, but they are in the hands of the radicals that want to nuke Israel. We could see this thing turn around very quickly, and as we see in the book of the Revelation, that this great sword is given, a great sword, and this great sword is going to take peace from the earth and is going to cause people to kill each other. This is the most exciting time that has ever been in the history of mankind. And when these wars start happening and the nukes start flying, it's like, okay, hold on, this is going to be one wild ride, and I want to be here in this city when this whole thing comes down. I want to be here when the smoke clears.
Michael Rood is one who is saying that there will definitely be a war in Israel and a nuclear war. Where does that come from? Is that a prophecy? Is that something directly given from God? Is that something that he knows for a surety, or is it something he's postulating as something that could possibly happen? I would be very, very interested to find out why he feels that that would happen, if he has some spiritual insight to it. I'm very cautious.